we're looking at a plan A, B long because we have a perfect storm breakout and we're nearing the pivot. As you can see, the daily has a mini pup attempt. The 60-minute has a mini pup above the 80 band. 15-minute has a pup, and the 5 minutes forming a mini pup. Now these are very high band entries, so we're going to be looking for a scalp that is going to test that pivot at 2050. Everything is lined up. The only thing we're waiting for is a 1 minute trigger. So we're scaled in 4 long ES in anticipation of that 1 minute cross up. And you see how the 1 minute's trying to cross up. It's choppy here, but all the wider time frames are holding strong here with pups or mini pups. So it's a perfect storm that's ready to detonate, but we're waiting on the 1 minute. So we take a small position, 4 contracts, and small compared relative to what you're comfortable with, and we're anticipating a 1 minute cross up through the 80 band for a perfect storm trigger and a perfect storm breakout. Now, if it crosses the 1 minute stochastics up through the 80 band, we're going to look to do an offensive sprawl scale, an offensive scale. But now take a look here. The 1 minute's starting to form a mini inverse pup, which could form a tightening to the 5 minute 5 and a potential cross down. So we don't want to take any chances here. So at this point, with the 1 minute coming down, all right, I'd rather opt to go ahead and trim down or take a stop and look to see if we can re-enter on a 5 minute 5 period moving average. So at this point, we're just going to go ahead and stop out at 2048 as a 1 minute is signaling a mini inverse pup slip. And it's important, not to look at your P&L because it's going to drive you nuts. We're just focusing on the trade. Focus on the trade. It has to be something that's natural. It has to feel natural. It has to be instinctive, intuitive. All right. So focus on the trade. Now, 1 minute mini inverse pup tested the 5 minute 5 period moving average. Notice how it just coiled up off that 5 minute 5 period moving average. That's a good sign. We're re-entering now in anticipation of the 1 minute stochastics cross back up. We're long 2. And we're watching that 1 minute real carefully because the 1 minute 5, the blue line, has sloped up just as well. 5 minutes trying to form that mini pup. Remember, a mini pup is when that 5 period tests and then they can't break it through and they bounce it and coil it back up. Well, that's the mechanics of a 5 minute mini pup. The 1 minute also is showing a potential pup. What we need is now a 1 minute cross up. We're already anticipating that, so we're long 2 contracts and we're buying now. Another 2 contracts, another 6 contracts. We're long 8 contracts. Now we're long a total of 10 contracts, and look at that. Look at that. It doesn't give you much time to get in when these perfect storms trigger, guys, so that's why you have to anticipate it. There's a perfect storm breakout here. Added 2 more. We're long 12 contracts. Look at that big volume bar, okay? It's squeezing. It's pushing through that 2050 or 2049 actually is the pivot. It's pushing. It's pushing. 1 minute's cross up. It's a fresh 80 band cross up. Everything's hitting all cylinders. Perfect storm thrust. Look at the 5 minute upper Bollinger Bands overshooting. We're selling 7 contracts into that pop, into the spike at 2050, 50. All right, and selling into the pop. That's what we learned in the earlier videos. All your liquidity's there when the buyers are coming in. You have all the liquidity in the world. We sold another 3 ES contracts at 2050, 51. Look at that huge volume bar on the 1 minute chart. Look at that huge volume bar. The buyers are coming in, shorts are getting squeezed, and we're simply selling out into the pops. So you step in anticipation. We scale a little in. We had to take an initial stop on this trade, 4 contracts, along at 2048.75. We took a precautionary stop, took a 0.75 small loss on that. And then when the 1 minute confirmed, crossed back up. But the better confirmation was at 5 minute 5. Okay, that's below the surface of the iceberg, below the surface. Okay, shallow but below the surface. We took 2 contracts long, and then once the 1 minute crossed up and the volume started rising, we went ahead, scaled in 10 contracts. Actually, we scaled in 12 total contracts. All right, and then we used the spikes to sell into the pops. And now we are basically just closing out the final contracts here. All right, and we do close out the final contract. All All right, so it's long 12 ES, and we went ahead and we sold them out from 2050.50 to 2051.50 into the spikes for a profit of $1,062 in 5 minutes. All right, and when I point out, it's a 5-minute trade, I don't want you to get the idea that you can make $1,000 every 5 minutes. The point is, we took larger size. Remember the risk-reward dance. We took the larger size for a smaller price move, okay, to maximize on that momentum. Because when the momentum's there, that's when you get your action. And when you get your action, you want to be selling into that so that there's no liquidity issues and there's no problems with fills. That's why you can use market orders, especially when there's thrusts like this, because you don't want to be fumbling over your keys. And so this was a plan AB, perfect storm breakout. We had 5 lanes of mini pups for a nice $1,062 profit in 5 minutes.